Percent of change is what we're going to be talking about next. And a percent of change indicates how much a quantity increases or decreases with respect to the original amount. If the new amount is greater than the original amount, the percent of change is called a percent of increase. If the new amount is less than the original amount, the percent of change is called a percent of decrease. When might this be applicable in your everyday lives? When might, say, an original amount be less than what it originally was? Marlia? Yeah, when you go shopping and it was $29.99. Now it's $24.99. It's $5 cheaper. However, what percent was knocked off that $29.99 to give you the $24.99? Sometimes they tell you, sometimes they don't. So that would be maybe an example of when the percent goes down, when it's a percent of decrease. When might the percent go up? When might you have an original price and then later on or whatever, it increased? Yeah. Yeah, you. Yeah, if something is in high demand and people are buying it, hopefully when you buy a home someday, hopefully when you're able to sell, you're selling at a higher price than what you bought for, right? If everything works out with the market and everything else, yeah, a lot of variables there. But percent of change, okay? Now, percent of change, seriously, has a formula that goes with it. And to find percent of change, we say the amount of increase or decrease will go on top, and the original amount goes on the bottom. This is one of the few lessons that I'll let you use one of these. Yep. Brand new. So let's look at an example. Let's say that our original amount was 140. Our new amount is 189. If I were to plug it into this formula, how am I going to find out, did this, first of all, did it increase or did it decrease? Increase or decrease? It went from 140 to 189. By how much did it increase? Raven. 49. What is the original amount? Okay, so punch in 49 divided by 140. And what do we get? That's a decimal. How do we convert decimals to percents? So we would call this a 35% since it went larger. 35% increase. Not bad. You get your calculator there? Nice, right? Oh, I'm just saying. Everything is easier with a calculator. Doesn't mean you're going to punch in the right buttons, but the work is not. Try another one. So let's say the original is 70. And let's say the new is 59.5. So if you don't know the difference, you're getting smaller this time. You may take your handy calculator, punch in your 70, take away 59.5, and what is the amount of change? 10.5. Original amount over 70. And 0.15 equals what percent? And that's a 15%, 15% decrease. How's that make sense? When else have we talked about 15%? In what context? Tips, right? Remember that? So if we take a look at our original, what's 10% of 70? 7, right? 10% of 70 is 7. If I go half for 5%, what's half of 7? Close. 3.5. 7 plus 3.5, 10.5. Right? So it should make some kind of sense for us. If you have no more questions, or if we go page 183, numbers 1 through 6, can you handle that? Just please make sure to put my calculators back.